It's a Wednesday before the action of the weekend as the Dutch Grand Prix is almost upon us, but there's a really jam-packed news schedule in the world of Formula 1 coming out today, as we can finally reveal, it seems, where Valtteri Bottas is going to be next season, and unsurprisingly, it's not going to be at Mercedes. We also almost lost this weekend's Grand Prix, which after everything that happened at Spa would have been absolutely devastating. And there's a little bit of discussion and a chat with Sergio Perez about his future with Red Bull. I'm Ollie Wilson for GP Fans. This is the best place to be for all of your F1 news and views, and you can stay connected with us throughout the season by hitting that subscribe button down below. Now, let's dive into the all-important headlines. It seems now we can bring an end to all of the speculation, as GPFans Global understands that Valtteri Bottas is to join Alfa Romeo pending confirmation of George Russell's move to Mercedes for 2022. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff confirmed at the Belgian Grand Prix that a decision had been made regarding its 2022 driver lineup, but that the delay in announcing Lewis Hamilton's partner was down to sorting the futures of both drivers. With Russell joining Mercedes, Bottas will move to replace fellow Finn Kimi Raikonen at Alfa Romeo, with Raikonen set to retire from Formula 1 at the end of this season. An announcement for that is due to be made at the Italian Grand Prix. Antonio Giovinazzi is also expected to lose his drive at the end of the season in favour of Mercedes Formula E champion Nick de Vries, with the Italian remaining as part of the Ferrari programme. Russell's move also opens the door for Alex Albon to return to the F1 grid, with suggestions the Williams vacancy is set to be filled by the Thai British driver. All very interesting if all of this comes to fruition, and now that's all sorted, it'll be interesting to see the impact that these moves have, particularly on Mercedes in the Drivers' World Championship and Constructors' battles for the second half of this season. Elsewhere, after the misery of Spa, the Dutch Grand Prix is set to go ahead as planned this weekend, despite a last-ditch attempt by environmentalists to disrupt the schedule for the Grand Prix to be staged without fans. In July, Zandvoort officials were given the green light for the circuit to house a 2/3 capacity crowd, which is around about 70,000 spectators, at what will be the venue's first race in Formula 1 since 1985. However, the group Coöperate Mobilisation for the Environment, or MOB, is protesting the decision, claiming the race should be behind closed doors as it breaches the limitations of Zandvoort's permit relating to nitrogen emissions. Now, such a move was declared unacceptable by track bosses. The group had suggested Formula 1 would cause unacceptable ecological damage to the surrounding Natura 2000, one of many nature protection areas across the European Union. This would be due to the serious increase in nitrogen levels. Zandvoort officials cited the fact they have already invested heavily in Formula 1's return, and a race without fans could likely bankrupt the circuit. A decision was ultimately left in the hands of a judge from the Noord-Holland District Court, who opted to take the weekend to mull over the arguments of both parties, declaring the balancing of interests to be a difficult one. The judge, though, was awaiting the findings of an investigation and recommendation by the Administrative Jurisdiction Advisory Board, or the STAB. Such findings are still forthcoming, which has resulted in the judge opting to favour the circuit on this occasion, determining there is insufficient scope at this stage for a full or partial suspension of Zandvoort's race permit. Lucky then that we do get the Dutch Grand Prix that we were hoping for coming up this weekend. It is still going to frustrate those environmentalists, I have to say, and we do hope that none of the surrounding area is damaged by the increased nitrogen levels, but I think we'll all be glad to see some on-track action after what happened last weekend. And finally, Sergio Perez has revealed he knew a long time ago that he would be driving with Red Bull in 2022 in the Formula 1 season. Perez initially signed only a one-year deal with the team when he joined at the end of last year after being released by Racing Point, who had opted to bring in four-time world champion Sebastian Vettel. After initially struggling to get to grips with the car, Perez was on hand to secure his first win with the team in Azerbaijan after teammate Max Verstappen had that horrendous tyre blowout, and he followed that up with a third place finish at the French Grand Prix. The Mexican driver, who is currently on a run of 3 races without a point, was confirmed by Red Bull for next year ahead of the Belgian Grand Prix and ahead of that crash on his outlap before the race even took place on Sunday, although I guess we didn't really have a race, so Perez kind of gets away with it in the end. "I went into the summer break knowing what I was going to do," said Perez. "But obviously everyone went on holiday, so it took us longer to get the contract ready, and I signed once everyone was back. But we committed a long time ago. It was a couple of races ago that Helmut Marko and Christian Horner told me they're very happy to keep me and that I shouldn't be looking anywhere else. They wanted to continue with me and vice versa, so it was just clear for both sides that we wanted to continue." Perez is happy with stability but still feels pressure from Red Bull. Despite Perez's future now secure through to the end of next year, he maintains the pressure to perform is still there. Suggested to Perez that the pressure was now off because of his new deal, the Mexican driver replied, "Not really, to be honest. I've been so long in the sport. The only reason I'm here is that every single weekend I want to do better and maximise. It's not like when I have a bad day I think, well, I have a contract. It's not like that. You are at this level because you are hungry for it. So it doesn't really change anything. It's something that gives you more work to be thinking going forwards, how to help the team. You can be more open with them and vice versa. Having that stability is where it helps, basically." So Sergio has got his new deal. The F1 merry-go-round of drivers looks set to finally be coming to an end, as we know seemingly where Valtteri Bottas and George Russell are going to be next season. Does that make you think anything about the prospects of Mercedes going into 2022 with a young, eager British driver alongside the experienced, wise old sage of Lewis Hamilton? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below, and your thoughts as well on us almost losing the Dutch Grand Prix in the last few days. And of course, remember to hit the link down below to subscribe to stay up to date with everything that we do here at GP Fans, and get on to @GPFans Global on Twitter and Instagram as well to stay abreast of everything going on across all our platforms.